Hey YouTubers, this is Givenup 96 here. I just got done watching uh, probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Well, I won't go that far, not the worst movie I've ever seen. But have you ever seen Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie? I mean, really. As a kid, I loved the show. I mean, I have the t-shirt. I'm Red Ranger Jason for life. But this movie really, it's terrible. Um, there are some pros and cons about it. I'll give you pros, I guess pros, kind of. Um, this movie, to be honest, was just made to usher in the third season of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, where they get their ninjetti powers. Um, Even though they had an episode of the Power Rangers where they actually get the powers and the Zords are completely different, and so is the Megazord. Which continuity, an issue with that would be the fact that they already have the powers. Why do they need to get them? Um, let's go with some pros of the movie. I took a few notes here. Um, let's see. Pros would be the only cool thing I could say is the helmets. It was nice to see them give each ranger separate, like, little power things with their helmets. Well, not even each ranger. Only two of them got them. Sorry, and one was lame and one was cool. Rocky had this cool, like, sensor bar going on where he could scan to see where creatures are, which he used once in the whole movie and it didn't help him at all. Now, he never used it in the series, but in the movie he used it. Another kind of cool thing is Ooze, the guy who plays him. Give me a second, let me find it. It doesn't say. But anyway, the guy that plays Ivan Ooze is pretty cool. Bulk and Skull are probably part of the best part of the movie because they just actually play the characters that they did in the TV show. Um, let's go with some cons now. Cons would be the whole movie. No, I'm joking. Um, Cons would be some weird things. They blatantly rip off the scene from Star Wars where Obi-Wan's uh, stops the Sand People from destroying Luke, but in this, this girl is in a cloak and she makes this weird noise. She has a staff and she makes a weird noise and it sounds almost exactly like the Sand People, and then she takes off her get up. It's Dulcia. She's the girl that gives the powers to the ninjetti powers to the Rangers, and she's like spinning her staff, and it makes the Ooz's monsters called the Tengu Warriors. It makes them fly away. Anyway, we see later the Dulcia give them their powers, and they get these really really cool ninja costumes. Uh, to be honest, it was the best part of the whole movie is seeing the ninjas in these costumes fighting. And she gives them these costumes and tells them to go to this large phallic symbol in the middle of the forest, and deep within this symbol, pillar, monolith, That's where they get the great power. Uh, so the Rangers get their animal spirits, um, and then they just defeat these monsters along the way. And then you think, okay, cool, they're gonna get the great power. They're getting this great power. They get it, and they go back to their power suits. Which, let me tell you, in this movie, the power suits, they're freaking this pleather like puffy suit. I'm sitting here on a lake thinking, that's not what the Power Ranger suits look like. What are you doing? But they had a bigger production, so whatever. So blah blah blah. Get to the end. You see these terrible. Ivan makes these terrible CGI monsters, and they start attacking the city. Um, Honestly, when the monsters are in an enclosed area, they look kind of cool. But when they put them in the city, the CG just looks terrible. So it's really obvious. Um, and then you got the Zords. Not the cool little Zords that are made of, like, I don't even know what they, little models that they would use. No, they made these CGI Zords. These Zords ruin the movie. It ruins everything about Power Rangers. Power the cool thing about the original Power Rangers, the series, was their Zords were practical. They looked real on camera. And then you take this and you say, hey, let's put that CGI, it'll look more real. The Zord is very fluid like. It moves perfectly like a human would, which isn't what the Zord should look like. The worst part about it is the fact that it looks fluid, but at the same time, because the CGI is so bad, it looks bulky. The Zord that they made in season 3 looks a lot better because that basically season 3 is this movie, like I said before, is a tie-in between season 3 and 2. Um, the Zord is a lot better in season 3. Everything's a lot better in season 3. This movie's actually, like I said, it's pretty terrible. But there is one winning factor. It's the one-liners. They're so bad. They're like terrible, but they're funny. I'll just give a rundown of my top 5 one-liners in this movie. Number 5 would be, they find out that there's these creatures. They come, you watch them, the Power Rangers watch them turn from rock to a monster, and Adam kicks the monster and said, "These things are made of rock." You don't say. We've seen them change into rock, from rock, and yet you have the need to say these things are made of rock. It was kind of funny, I guess, but it's made for little kids, so I can respect that. So still, it was bad. Number 4 would be "Let's rock his world." They push a boulder onto one of the rock monsters, and "Let's rock this world" is said by Kim, the Pink Ranger. Once again, it's just a terrible line out of context, but these terrible lines are one of the only saving points of the movie. 3 would be after one of the rock monsters gets split in half. Billy looks at it, comes down through the middle, and of the monster, and he says, "Talk about a splitting headache." It's lines like this that made the movie bad and good at the same time. What are we at? 1 or 2? Doesn't matter. This will be the last one that I say. Billy's line. Billy's line when he punches one of Ivan's little children and it leaves ooze on his hand. He looks at it and he says, "Once you ooze, you lose." This is coming from a series that left a bunch of us very nostalgic. I'm still nostalgic over it. I love the Power Rangers. But rewatching this movie has opened my eyes to how terrible the concept of taking a half-hour television show and making it a feature-length movie. So in the end, what I'm saying is, don't watch this. Watch this. Or even watch this. I'll talk about this one later. Honestly, I prefer this over the original Power Rangers movie. And I'll explain that in another part. But this was my little take on the Power Rangers. Oh, wait. I didn't mention this. This is the number one thing. The final blow to the villain is they knee him to the balls. Ooze dies because the Megazord knees him in the balls. Think about that. What did Power Rangers teach other children? Teach my generation? Violence is okay as long as you have a funny comeback with it. And it was the greatest show ever in the 90s. That's all I gotta say. I love the Power Rangers, not so much the movie. I just gotta leave you with that. I love you guys. I'm sorry that this video kind of sucks. It's just like a impression film. Tell me what you guys thought. Tell me what you agree or disagree with me with. What you agree with and what you disagree with what I say. Alright, love you guys. See you later, YouTube. Peace.